And I'm live. Hold on.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah.
It's a new experience.
Yeah, keep your ears open for this one. You got a question for RLM? It's time to get some answers, baby.
Oh, now we're getting real. Get down now.
Yeah, you gonna feel good now.
Welcome everyone. Welcome to, hold on a second. I have to put this laptop down. One of these days I'm going to have a real producer and a director and a studio, but it's not today. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. I'm your host, global happiness specialist, inner peace practitioner, oracle, but a mother, but most importantly, a student, ongoing student, always learning, always growing, always practicing being aware, and also practicing living in the present moment. Hey, hi there. Practicing living in the present moment. And one of the things, well, let me just give a brief introduction. When I say happiness specialist, I don't know, when I was younger, blowing out the candles on my birthday cake and making a wish, I always wished for the same two things. I wanted to, number one, live to my potential, and I wanted to be happy. And so this searching, seeking, finding, where is happiness? If you were like me, when life was great, I felt great. And then when life was hit me with a curveball or a baseball bat to the back of the head, well, I didn't feel so good. And was there a way, my question was there a way to maintain and sustain this thing called happiness regardless of what happens? And the answer is yes, because the good news is happiness, like any other skill, is a practiced skill. Practice. And so if I can do it, you can do it. And what is the practice? What are you practicing? Thank you for asking. Thanks for asking. Number one, the practice comes from valuing, wanting, prioritizing, making a commitment that this thing called happiness, and let me be very clear. When I say happiness, I'm talking about a personal vibration, energy of contentment. An energy of contentment, regardless of what happens and regardless of what doesn't happen. That's my definition of happiness, the ability to vibrate an energy of peace, regardless of what happens. Is there a way to maintain and sustain it? The answer is yes, and it does take practice. And what do you practice? Letting go, eliminating these program behaviors. And quite frankly, thank you for asking. My latest book, Program for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth, it's on Amazon. And in this book, I list 56 program behavior. 56. I'm up to 58, but the numbers rose after I published after I published the book. 56 program behaviors. That's a lot of program behaviors. And so the practice is just eliminating them, or even just being aware. Practice being aware. Oh, that's a program behavior. That's a program thought. That's a program story. And I also list in this book 26 behaviors that will add to your happiness. Again, the energy of contentment. Before I go on, there's a very famous study, because today's show is going to be a little different. I receive a lot of questions And I also teach the class, The Truth About Happiness. I've been teaching the class for over 15 years in California, in Southern California. I taught the class in Roseburg, Oregon, my favorite place on the planet. And then now I'm in Las Vegas. And so I'm teaching at UNLV, the only college in town. And the class is called The Truth About Happiness. But before I share with you the questions that I've gotten, I wanted to say that there is a very famous study. It's called The 5 Most Common Regrets of the Dying. The 5 Most Common Regrets of the Dying. You can Google it. And it was a study done by a hospice nurse, and her patients had days to live, weeks to live, months to live. And she asked them, she said, what are your 5 biggest regrets? I don't know about you, but that's pretty powerful. That question, especially knowing that your time on this planet, well, your physical time on this planet is limited. And there were five regrets that kept coming back, that kept being, that were repeated over and over and over again. It would be nice if I could talk correctly. Just a little excited. I always get excited at the beginning of the show. I just a lot of passion and a lot of vibes, just with this inspired energy to share. Okay, number 1, the 5 most common regrets of the dying, and I'm going to read them. Number 1, I wish I would have pursued my dreams and aspirations and not the life others expected of me. I wish I would have pursued my dreams and aspirations and not the life others expected of me. That's regret number 1. Regret number 2. Shout out to all my workaholics. What's up, workaholics? I wish I didn't work so hard. Number 3, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings and speak my mind. I don't have that problem. Number 4, I wish I would have stayed in touch with my friends. Again, I say, sometimes we outgrow people. Nothing wrong with them, nothing wrong with you. It's just time. It's just time to move on. It's just another season. So people are in our lives for reasons, and sometimes they're here for their grandfathered in, and sometimes it's just time to move on. And the 5th regret of the dying, again, you can Google this, the 5 most common regrets of the dying. And the 5th regret of the dying is, I wish I would have let myself be happier. And that's where I come in. When I talk about this thing called happiness, again, to be very clear, because people get caught up in words, and that's another program behavior. Put your seatbelt on for this. That's another program belief and behavior, that words are powerful, or words have the ability to make you feel here or here. And I tell you, innately, words do not have power. Energy has power, but a word, I wish you could use a word, and it's taken a lot of practice, but there are absolutely no words that anyone can say to me or point at me or yell at me, and I'm going to feel here or here. And that practice, that accomplishment, because that is an accomplishment, and it is based on a practice, happened in September 2021. All right, I'm going to have to pull out my Walter O'Brien story. So Walter O'Brien, you can Google him. He's supposedly worth $50 million. He has an IQ of 197. He is the inspiration for the CBS show Scorpion. I'd never seen the show before, but I was and it supposedly stopped terrorist attacks in the United States. And I was at a networking marketing event in California in September 2021. And this gentleman, I was drawn to him. I was fascinated. 197 IQ. Number one, I thought, could I hold a conversation with someone with 197 IQ. So these people, these high ticket big wigs, the gentleman that started Priceline, Jeff Hoffman, he was there. The gentleman that created Uggs was there. I mean, this was some, heavy hitters in the world's view of success, what the world is programmed to believe is success, your accomplishments, your money in the bank, and all of the stuff, which is the program. I happen to believe, I digress a little bit, I happen to believe that success is the ability to live in the present moment, but don't tell anybody. Okay, back to Walter O'Brien. And I've shared this story before, but I like to come back and share it again, because this story, this really happened. It on that day, it solidified that what I practice works. And if it works for me, it's going to work for you. So on that day, Mr. O'Brien, $50 million man, 197 IQ, we went out. I asked him, could we speak, and could we have a conversation? And he was very gracious. And so we went outside, and it was just him and I. We were standing, those high tables, bar tables. So we were standing across from each other, and I introduced myself. I said, "Hello, Mr. O'Brien. My name is Rebecca Norrington, and I'm a happiness specialist." And before I could say anything else, Mr. O'Brien said, "Rebecca, I would never hire you to work in any of my companies, because what you do is toxic." Happiness specialist, toxic. I started laughing, and then I said, please tell me more, which he proceeded to do. Again, you can Google Walter O'Brien. So he said, I've wasted, he didn't say you wasted, I wrote it down. It's in my latest book, Program for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth. This story is in the book. It's on Amazon. He said, you've wasted 35 years of your life studying and pursuing happiness. You've contributed zero to the planet. That was a favorite one of mine. I've contributed zero to the planet. He said, searching for happiness and inner peace is delusional. This is one of my other favorites. What I've accomplished can't be measured. Therefore, I've accomplished nothing. He said, you're selfish and you're toxic. And he said, if the clients I counsel don't employ at least 1,000 individuals, I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting their time. I'm accomplishing nothing. Ooh-wee. Now, question. Why was I able to, number one, laugh and listen to his perspective, one perspective about what he thinks this thing called the value of this thing called happiness. And again, when I say happiness, I'm talking about an energy, a personal energy of contentment. Regardless of what happens, you're here, you're living in a state of neutrality. Again, it is a practice skill. So after he said all of those things to me, my question to you, my dear audience, is why was I able to laugh? Why did I not take any of those? I'm not even going to say insults. They were just perspectives. Why did I not internalize any of those perspectives? Answer? What's the answer, Rebecca? Thanks for asking. The answer is because of what I practice. It is this contentment, this energy of peace is a practice. Number one, here we go. Put your seatbelts on. I said it earlier. Words innately do not have power. I get it. The majority of the people, 98% of the population, believe that words have power. And I'm here to say innately, they do not have power. Usually I lose a lot of people on that one because people want to be able, yeah, words have power. No, they don't. Not innately. You were programmed to believe that they have power. Number two, it's never personal. I don't care what anyone says, what anybody tells you, pointing the finger, calling you names, it's never personal. Number three, whatever anyone labels you or names you, know that they're talking about themselves. Whenever anybody negatively names you or insults you, know that they're really talking about themselves. It's nothing to do with you. It's not personal. Number three, even though Walter O'Brien had 197 IQ, this gentleman can only come up with one perspective. And that's what the ego does. That's what the mind does. The person, the human, can only manage to come up with one perspective. That's why I know that it's authored by the ego. There's only one perspective. And so the practice, if you really are committed to and value this energy of contentment, is to practice having more than one perspective. Well, another way of saying it is find the good. There's a rainbow in every cloud. Anyway, and then the last thing is, what does the man with the hump in his back want more than anything else? The man that can't stand up straight, the man that's hunched over. What does the man with the hump in his back want more than anything else? No, it's not to stand up straight. No, it's not to get rid of the hump. He wants you to have a hump too. It's not misery loves company. Misery needs company. And then when you realize that and you really practice that to a point of solidifying and rooting and having that rooted, there's nothing anyone can say that is going to affect your vibration. Here we go. The topic of today's show. Oh, by the way, believe it or not, I have a selfie. I asked Walter O'Brien, can I take a selfie with him? Let me see if I can find it really quick. September. Hold on. September. Search. September 2021. Search. Oops. Maybe if I use 2021 instead of 2221, I could have found the picture. Hold on. There it is, 2021. Oh, come on. September. That's another practice. Patience. Okay, here we go. There we go. Where are my pictures? Here we go. So after all of those things that Mr. O'Brien said to me, I'm selfish, I'm toxic, I've contributed zero to the planet, I've wasted 35 years of my life. What I've accomplished can't be measured. After all of that, I took a selfie with him. I asked him for a selfie. I don't know if you can see this. Let's see this way. Yes, I took a selfie with this 197 $50 million the CBS show Scorpion was inspired by. Yes, those words weren't insulting. No one, the practice is no one can insult me and no one can compliment me, but it's a practice. But if I can do it, you can do it. Okay, let's get to today's topic. I have a lot of people sending me questions, which I love. I love answering questions. And I also, again, teach the class, The Truth About Happiness, at the local college where there's only one college in Las Vegas, UNLV. And this class is for the seniors. It's called Osher Lifelong Learning. And it's institute, and it's all over the country. And so these The students in the class are in their 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. And I have a gentleman in the class that's 92 years old. 92 years old, still searching for, looking for, seeking this thing called happiness. And these are the questions that I give out the first day of class. Number 1, on a scale from 1 to 10, how important is happiness in your life? Number 2, what is your definition of happiness? And I gave you my definition, but I'll give it to you again. Happiness is the ability to vibrate an energy of contentment regardless of what happens, regardless of what life throws at you. Number 3, who or what is subtracting from your happiness today? That's a trick question. And you know, and I know that this thing called happiness, this energy, this vibration of contentment has only one challenge and has only one place to practice. And that one place to practice is, where's my prop? Is in the mirror. In the mirror. That's it. All the practice is done in the mirror. Not out there, not around the corner, in the mirror. So the answer to that question, what or who is subtracting from your happiness today, is always the person in the mirror. And there's no room for anybody else in the mirror. Number 4, are you as happy when you're faced with life's inevitable challenges? You know, and I know that life is a series of roller coaster. It is here, it is here, it is here, it is here. And that is just the way life is. The question is, how do you respond to life? So you're either reacting or you're responding in any moment. And the responding is a conscious behavior. It is an awareness that I am, how am I going to respond, especially responding in a way that is going to bring peace and contentment. Okay, these other questions, these are answers 1 through 5. Answer yes or no. Can other people hurt your feelings? Yes or no. Can other people offend you? Yes or no. Can other people disappoint you? Do you blame other people for how you feel? Do you blame your circumstances for how you feel? So this person answered, can other people hurt your feelings? Can other people offend you? Can other people disappoint you? Yes, 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 yes. And I will give you the solution. I promise it works 100% of the time, not 99% of the time, 100% of the time. The solution to never being disappointed, never having your feelings hurt, never having your heart broken is just one practice. One practice. Eliminate, and this is a program, eliminate all programmed expectations. Eliminate all expectations. Sounds simple, but it is a challenging practice. But I guarantee you, when you have 0 expectations, 0, not 1, not a half, 0 expectations, you will never have your heart broken. You will never be disappointed. You will never be have your feelings hurt. You will never be disappointed or your feelings hurt. 0 expectations, and that's of others, and also 0 expectations of yourself. How you like them apples? Solutions here. That's all we do here are solutions. Okay. Let's get into some other questions. I receive, let's see. These are okay, let's get into this question here. List your top, and this is my question to the audience and or the student. List your top 3 current fears and why. List your top 3 current fears and why. Answer from one audience student member. Audience member, student. Number 1, losing my son to medical reasons or not getting along. Now let me answer that one. Losing my son to medical reasons or not getting along. Number 1, when I say there's 56 program behaviors, one of the program behaviors is living in the future. Living in the future and also having future worry. All worry is in the future. And so losing my son to medical reasons or not getting along, this answer tends to fall under the doom, gloom, negative, opposite of the glass is full. That lets me believe that this person is more leaning to that, especially thinking about what could go wrong in the future. How about what could go right? And when I say go right, it's all right. It's all good. It's all in order. Not getting along. Okay, here we go. If you're, okay, this put a seatbelt on. If you're not getting along with anyone, unless they have a mental issue, unless they are on some kind of drugs or under the influence, and unless they really have a mental problem, it's all your fault. What? It's all, you have the power to get along with anyone. And that includes the narcissists. These poor narcissists get such a bad rap. The bullies, all of the negative labels that people are given these days. You can get along with anyone. You are that powerful when you practice growth and consciously practice growing. I've said this before, is a elephant bothered by a gnat? A gnat? So you get to the point where you grow that there is no gnat that is going to affect you, bother you, take you here or there. Not a gnat. Not when you've grown. Okay, top 3 fears. This is another fear. This is an interesting one. I haven't heard this one. This is a fear: accidentally injuring or killing someone in my car because I didn't see them or react quick enough. I've never heard that one. I wouldn't even that thought wouldn't even enter my mind. I'm fearful of accidentally injuring or killing someone in my car because I didn't see them or react quick enough. Well, let me just say this. These type of questions, one of the things that must happen is knowing yourself. And so this person knows that this is a thought, and the awareness is the work. Awareness is the work. And even writing it down and sharing it, one of the things that I learned about this program feeling behavior, this behind shame, is that it's usually kept in a closet. It's usually kept in the dark. But one of the things about saying something out loud and then sharing it, that energy or that pull or that grip that this fear has somehow loosens up just a tad. And growth comes, at least for me, sometimes very, very slowly. Baby steps. I say the thoughts soften, the behavior softens. And so just the sharing is huge. But accidentally injuring or killing someone in my car. And then the other questions were, list 3 things you used to fear, but you don't today. And one of them is not having a place to live. And the other one is snorkeling. So when you have fears, the program fears, because they're all fears are programmed. When you have fears, and in my perspective is sharing, letting them out, putting them out on the stage, exposing them, putting a spotlight on the fear, the awareness of it. That's you're on your road. You're on the road to letting that one dissipate, and be okay and be at peace with how long it takes. Okay, this was a good one. List your top current fears and why. Being out of town when or if my mother dies. Internal guilt. Well, that's a very common one. This guilt in being out of town when my mother dies, let me just share that. I practice trusting that however life unfolds, however it unfolds, that is the way it's supposed to unfold. The unfolding of life, the unfolding, regardless of what my ego will say, regardless of what my mind says, life unfolding is in order. And a mother or a father, you being there or not being there, that's part of the divine plan. I remember I wasn't there when my father died, and the human in me, the person, my mind, oh God, I wish my father, last breath. No, I saw my father. I spent a lot of time with him. And so the focus is on trusting that every moment, without exception, is unfolding perfectly. This guilt, it's another program. And the mind, the mind chatter, what does it need more than anything else is to be fed, is to get fed, is to have fuel. And this guilt, number one, it's a program. Number two, we all know that these program beliefs have nothing to do with your real identity. Who are you? Who are you? You're not this body. You're beyond. And in fact, might as well. Hold on. The moment you're born, Program for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth on Amazon. The moment you're born, you're given a name, a nationality, a religion, a gender, a race, and a culture. Then the rest of your life is spent identifying and defending those deep-seated program beliefs. The truth is, you are more than your name. You are more than your race. You are more than a religion, a nationality, or a culture. You are even more than your gender. Yes, my dear reader, you are much, much more. Back to knowing that So what I do with my thoughts and the stories that are just endless, just like you, I witness. I practice witnessing the stories. I practice witnessing as opposed to identifying with the story. Am I in the center? Now I'm in the center. I wasn't in the center of the shot. I practice witnessing the mind, witnessing the stories, witnessing the thoughts, not identifying with them. Okay, here's another question. What are 3 triggers that you can't seem to release? And this person answers, taking disagreements personally. Taking disagreements personally. What are 3 triggers that you can't seem to release? Answer, taking disagreements personally. Okay, here we go. Number 1, taking anything personally, know that that's a program. You didn't pop out of the womb knowing that's personal. I mean, I've insulted many babies in my time, and when I do insult the babies, they never take it personally until they're programmed to take things personally. So let me just back up. Taking disagreements personally, that has so many layers to it. It's not personal. This is an impersonal world. This is an impersonal universe. This is look out into nature. It's impersonal. When the lion eats the lioness's cub from another lion, it's not personal. Nothing in nature is personal. The program is to take it personally. So when you take something personally, number 1, don't send me hate mail. It smells of victimhood. I'm a victim, victimized, personal. No, who's more powerful? The person that can be offended or the person that can't be offended? And so this taking disagreements personally, it goes a little bit deeper than that too. Because what I'm feeling is, hurt and then you hurt me. It's always the pointing the finger. It's always the blame others. And when when you really value and want to practice this maintaining and sustaining this energy of contentment and peace and happiness, there's nobody in the mirror but you. Taking disagreements personally. That has a little bit, a little speck of manipulation too. And I'm hurt and you hurt me. I'm just sharing. What do you focus on daily that you would like to change? Answer, being more direct with communication, disagreeable, and confrontation. You like to change, being more direct. This being more direct, it's also being more honest with answers. And when I that's why I don't have any friends. When I am honest with an answer or a response, I cannot be concerned with anybody hurting anybody's feelings. I don't know how that sounds, but your feelings, other people's feelings, are their responsibility. I am not responsible for anybody's hurt feelings. Oh, you hurt my feelings. The way you said it, how you said it, your tone, disrespectful. There's no such thing. I know people have been programmed to feel like you can disrespect me, but no one can disrespect you. You are if you respect yourself, there is, oh, thank you, Christopher. No one can disrespect you if you respect yourself. And I don't care what name you call me. I know who I am. And I know who I'm not. So there is no way. And can you imagine the entire world? I know I have this in my head, the entire world not being able to be offended or not being able to have your feelings hurt. That's powerful. And that's a practice. Here's another question. List your top 3 current fears and why? This answer is my health and my independence. This person is 85 years old. My health, my wife's health. I'm worried about my children. I'm worried about my grandkids, mental and physical. Now, again, it is a program. It is a program behavior. It is a program to live in the future. And all of that falls under worry, especially this future worry. My health, my wife's health. I'm going to be a little tough now, even though you're 85 years old. I still got to be a little tough on you. What good does it do you to worry about other people, friends, children, wife, their health? And see, this worrying, even though worrying is a program behavior, and the only reason why people worry, well, there's more than one reason. Let me throw this out. Number one, when you worry, you know that it's programmed. You didn't pop out of the womb knowing how to worry. Number two, worrying indicates, here we go, seatbelts. Worrying indicates a lack of trust. You cannot practice. Oh, and if you have a question, Christopher, I would love a question if you want to shoot me a question right in the middle of the live stream. But worrying, you cannot trust and worry at the same time. Which one are you choosing? Which one are you actively choosing? And see what happens with worry, like most program behaviors, it becomes an addiction. Did I say addiction? Yes. Worrying, like gambling, drugs, alcohol, food, shopping, not being affected by others, what they say or think about is something we can't be bothered with, but it isn't normal to be a little No, it's not normal. Well, when I say it's not normal, it's a program. Well, let me just finish this worrying thing. So know that worrying, complaining, taking things personally, the need to be right, the not being able to have a different perspective is a program. And then it not only becomes an addiction, but it becomes your identity. So let me look at this. Not being offended by others, by what they say. Did you hear my Walter O'Brien story, Christopher? Just yes or no. Did you? Because I'm going to zoom right through it again. Did you hear my Walter O'Brien story? But isn't it normal to be a little bothered? No. I love this question. No, it's not normal. It's programmed. You are programmed, brainwashed. So we shouldn't care at all what anyone. No, of course not. Not at all. I care about what God thinks about me. Okay, I'm so glad you're going to love this. Christopher, you're going to love this story. And I'm going to just zoom through it again. It's one of my favorite stories. I care about what God thinks about me. I care about what the universe thinks about me. I care about what source thinks about me. But these humans, yeah. Hold on a second. Okay. Here, I'm going to go through it again just for you. Just for you. You see how nice I am? But I don't have any friends. Okay, so there is this. In September 2021. In September 2021, and in fact, the story is in not to sell anything, but the story is in my book, Program for Unhappiness: Exposing the Untold Truth. Is on Amazon. You want to change your life? 56 program behaviors. Okay, this is the story. So September 2021, it was a marketing networking event attended by Good. Attended by big ticket people, meaning these people are billionaires. The guy, excuse me, the guy that started a Priceline was there. His name is Jeff Hoffman. He's worth billions. The gentleman that started Uggs, the shoes, he was there. And then this guy, his name is Walter O'Brien. You can Google him. He's worth $50 million. He has a reported IQ of 197. He stopped terrorist attacks in the United States. He is the inspiration for the CBS show Scorpion. I'd never heard of the show, but he's the inspiration for that show. Anyway, there was something about him that drew me to him. And so these people, these had these muckety mucks, these billion and millionaires, they said, we are making ourselves available to all of us, all of you little peons. They didn't say peons, but anyway. So I was intrigued by Walter O'Brien, and I asked to speak with him one-on-one. We went outside. It was just me and him. It was a beautiful evening in California. And I said, "Hi, Mr. O'Brien. My name is Rebecca Norrington." I'm telling the story twice on the same show, but doesn't matter. I said, "My name is Rebecca Norrington, and I am a happiness specialist." And before I could say anything else, Christopher, before I could say anything else, Mr. O'Brien said, "I would never hire you to work in any of my companies because what you do is toxic." Toxic? I started laughing. I said, "Toxic? Tell me more," which he proceeded to do. He said, you've wasted 35 years of your life studying and pursuing happiness. You've contributed 0 to the planet. Searching for happiness and inner peace is delusional. What I've accomplished can't be measured. Therefore, I've accomplished nothing. That's one of my favorite ones. What I've accomplished can't be measured. Therefore, I've accomplished nothing. I'm selfish. He already said I was toxic. I'm selfish. And he said, if the clients I counsel don't employ at least 1,000 individuals, I'm wasting time and accomplishing nothing. Can you imagine now, why is it that I was able to laugh when this gentleman with 197 IQ said, I've contributed 0 to the planet, I'm delusional, what I've accomplished can't be measured, I've wasted 35 years of my life, I'm selfish, I'm toxic, on and on and on. Why was I able to laugh? Why was I able to laugh? And it's because of what I practice. Here we go. Put your seatbelts on, everybody. And I mean it. Seatbelts. Regardless of what the world teaches, regardless of what 98% of the population believes, words innately do not have power. I don't care what you call me. I don't care how your words cannot affect my personal vibration. Your words cannot take my energy here or here. It's impossible. But was I always like this? Of course not. Listen, when I was younger, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, did I say I was 69 years old? Don't tell anybody. Years ago, I would be insulted if you said I looked tired. But now, 0, selfish, toxic, delusional, contributed 0 to the planet. That is funny as hell. So words innately do not have power. Energy has power, but we were all programmed to believe that words have power. So I don't care what word you call me. You have at it. I've been called the B word, the C word, the N word, the F, all words. Please. Are you kidding? Number 2, it's never personal. Oh, thank you. I look 45. It's never personal. Good lighting. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care. They're pointing their finger at you, calling you names from A to Z. It's still about them. It's not about you. Number 3, whatever name or whatever negative label somebody puts on you, guess what? From narcissists to racists to bigots to arrogant to all the all of the name, all of the labels, they're really talking about themselves. You cannot describe someone else without owning it yourself. So everything this gentleman said to me, everything that he said, he was talking about himself. And I didn't identify with anything that he said. Number 4, there are 360 degrees in a circle. 360, that's a lot. And so the practice is, if you value and prioritize and make a commitment to experience more happiness, and again, when I say happiness, I'm talking about a personal energy and a vibration of contentment. So here, there are 360 degrees in a circle, and I challenge you, you all have homework, all 3 of you. I challenge you to practice coming up with another perspective, because the ego, the mind will only give you one perspective. You know that, it's the ego talking. It's the mind. It's the human. It's the person when they only have one perspective. So practice coming up with more than one perspective. And even with an IQ of 197, Mr. Walter O'Brien could only come up with one perspective about this thing called happiness. And the last thing is, what does the man with the hump in his back want more than anything else? Answer, the man that walks hunched over, can't stand up straight with big hump in his back. What does he want more than anything else? No, he doesn't want to get rid of the hump. No, he doesn't want a woman with the hump, even though I've heard that one. No, he doesn't want to stand up straight. He wants you to have a hump too. It's more than misery loves company. Misery needs company. And so with all of that, what am I going to get insulted? I'm not taking anything anybody says to me personally. Oh my God, I'm at a point, this, again, this is a practice. Happiness, inner peace, contentment are all practice skills. And I wasn't always like this. Boy, oh boy, you can insult me with the wind blowing. And guess what I did after all of that, after that conversation with Walter O'Brien? Google him. I asked him for a selfie. This is my selfie with Walter O'Brien, the gentleman that said I was toxic, selfish, delusional, worthless, zero to the planet. Yeah, I asked him for a selfie. Why? Because the practice works. And what is the practice? Again, eliminating the program behaviors. 56, I'm up to 58 though, but 56 program behaviors I list in the book. It's on Amazon. 56. You want me to, and they're different levels, 3 different levels. So again, it's a practice. And like any other skill, from being a speaker, an athlete, a musician, a painter, a landscaper, it's just about, do you value? Are you interested in practicing? Let's see. Oh, so yes, they're learned behaviors. Taking anything personally is a learned behavior. And in fact, this is one of my favorite things that I like to share. This was probably 20 years ago. And this falls under the words do not have power. I know the world teaches words are powerful. No, energy is powerful. Words are just letters put together. But the programming says, oh, that word is so offensive. Who's more powerful, the person that can be offended or the person that can't? And this being offended thing, again, it comes right back to the person in the mirror. I wish you could offend me. Not anymore. It's a practice. Let me just look at the chat. We have to be confident. You look for, I think, ultimate, we need to No. Ultimately, we need to lift each other up and put each other and not put each other down. Okay. Yes, the ego is sometimes not our amigo. The ego is never your friend. Meaning, let me just speak for myself. My ego, I already know it inside and out. You know what the job of my ego is to do? Is to make me feel as discontented, out of the present moment, as dissatisfied, resisting every moment, not surrendering as often as possible. And so the solution that I do is I practice witnessing the ego. I'm not identifying with my ego. I'm not that voice in my head. I am not my thoughts. I am not my stories. That's all authored by the ego, the mind, whatever you want to call it, that voice that never shuts the hell up. I'm neither of those. I don't identify with ego. So let's get back to what you said, though. We need to lift each other up. Listen, the biggest gift that you can give anyone, at least my perspective, is to accept these people exactly where they are. Acceptance without judgment. And what is my job? What is my responsibility? To be the example. I'm sorry, I'm yelling at all of you. To be the example of consciousness and awareness, to be the example of the universe, to be the example of presence. There's been plenty of people. Let's see. There was one person. Hold on a second. Very famous guy. Very famous. Oh, Jesus. Be the example. And Jesus was just a teacher. I'm not throwing out any religion. And before Jesus, there was Confucius and Buddha. Be the example of the universe, a walking, talking example. And know that these other people, because this is what I say. I say we're all avocados. We're all avocados, and some of us are just ripe. Some of us, it's just time. It's just time to get the lessons. It's just time to shift. And some, it's just not time. Lift up the world. I'll help you. Save yourself first. Yes. Be the example. I'm getting chills from you. Be the example. And it's a practice. And what is that example? Let's take a few stories. I remember poor Jesus, toward the end, he's let me just two stories. So he's in the Garden of Gethsemane. That's just the story. Whether you believe Jesus was alive or not, the stories are really a lot of lessons. So in the Garden of Gethsemane, this guy didn't want to be crucified. He said, no, thank you. In fact, can you do something else? Can you take this cup? Can you take this away from me? I don't want to be killed. I don't want to be tortured. What the hell are you doing anyway, God? And then finally, what happened? That poor sap said, okay, not my will, your will. That's a practice. I let go of having wants and desires years ago, because what if and when I say wants and desires, where are these wants and desires coming from? Just the ego again. My ego's desires, my ego's wants, ego, you keep wanting, you keep desiring. But okay, see you later, alligator. See you later, alligator. I did the gym this morning. My wants and my desires, whatever you want and whatever you desire for me, God, source, all there is, higher power, whatever you want to call it, creator, those are my wants. Those are my desires. Those are my wants. Those are my desires. I refuse to let the ego drive. I refuse to let the ego tell me what I want or what I desire. I want whatever the universe puts in front of me, drops in my lap. What was else? There was going to be another example. Okay. So now Jesus is on the cross, and getting tortured, speared, ridiculed, humiliated, pain. And what does the guy say? Forgive them; they don't know what they're doing. So when I bring up these stories, it's not to it's just to share a lesson of other people and everybody. Everybody. People are doing the best that they can in any given moment. You, me, all these other they're doing the best that they can. It's my practice to accept and let go of judgment that someone else needs to change and someone else needs to do something. No, accept, and it's not easy. This acceptance without judgment is not easy, but it is a practice. And I'll tell you, when I practice accepting others, it's all rooted in acceptance of self. And when I say self, acceptance of this Rebecca self. No, I'm not Rebecca. Thank you, Rebecca, but she's got a lot of human needs and desires and practices and preferences. But I practice not identifying with Rebecca, as crazy as that sounds. Okay, let me just answer a couple more questions, because I got off track, and I love, scratch that, I didn't get off track, but when I get questions in the chat, I do love answering them. So shout out to my friend Christopher. Okay, here's another question. Here we go, audience. List 5 or more things that you can't seem to stop doing. Be honest. List 5 or more things that you can't seem to stop doing. So I have 3 people that has answered this question. And when I ask these questions, and the practice is really just to start being more self-aware and not only honest with self. Listen, I've said, don't tell anybody. I've said you can lie to everybody else, but being honest to yourself, being honest with self, knowing self. And when I say self, knowing even the human and separating the human from the soul, the spirit, the consciousness, the awareness, because it's different. Okay, back to the question. List 5 or more things you can't seem to stop doing. Okay, so this person says, checking on things, doors, phones, pets, etc. Enough guilt about everything. So this person has a lot of guilt. Number one, know that guilt is just another program behavior, and what another program learned behavior, and what you learn, you can unlearn. And so let me give you a quick one. This is what I do. I am so lazy. This is what I do. Outside, hands up in the air. Let's see, hold on a second. I can't, there we go. Hands up in the air, hands up outside. And I ask the universe, how do I let go of guilt? How do I practice trusting more? How do I live in the present moment? How do I vibrate an energy of satisfaction? It's always with the how do I questions. How do I? How can I? And then let it go. There's nothing to work. I'm working on it. There's nothing to work at. It's knowing that whatever you ask, you are given an answer. But see, the ego wants to know, when is the answer coming? And the ego wants to know, when? Impatience. When is it going to happen? In any single moment, you are either vibrating an energy of satisfaction or dissatisfaction in any moment. So the practice is, how can I practice vibrating satisfaction in all my moments? The other practice is just more self-awareness, being aware. This, because my ego will get me in my head and no, practice living, staying in the present moment. That's where life is anyway, present moment. The other practice is trust, blind trust. You can't worry and trust at the same time. This worrying is a program behavior. Guilt is a program feeling, emotion. It's all programmed. So know that it's not even you. But the challenge comes because the world sells dissatisfaction. What did I say? She said, the world sells dissatisfaction. Be dissatisfied. Be dissatisfied with who you are. Be dissatisfied with where you are. Be dissatisfied with what you've accomplished. Be dissatisfied. And for all you people that are always, got to have something doing, things to do list, I get that. But can you vibrate a sense of satisfaction even while doing? Can you keep, keep motivated, go, but vibrate in the moment an energy of satisfaction. I'm satisfied, because I guarantee you that if you're dissatisfied in this moment, you are going to be dissatisfied in all your future moments too. So the practice is, hey, Ryan, yes, what's up? So the practice is to practice vibrating, asking for, how do I vibrate a sense of how do I practice vibrating satisfaction in this moment? How do I practice that more? Yes, and the words, being in the moment is where joy lives, life is, whatever. It's that energy. It's that present. In fact, oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. Look, I'm getting chills from you. This is from Eckhart Tolle. I just happen to have it on the desk. Most humans are never fully present in the now because unconsciously they believe that the next moment must be more important than this one. But then you miss your whole life, which is never not now. Eckhart Tolle. This is another Eckhart Tolle quote. The moment you realize you are not present, you are present. Whenever you are able to observe your mind, you are no longer trapped in it. And that is the practice of observing, witnessing, not identifying with anything going on in here. Zero. This is one of my favorite ones. This is one of my favorite ones, though. To anybody I offended this year, work on yourself so you don't got to do it again in 2025. So this was a comic strip in 2024. To anybody I offended this year, work on yourself so I don't have to do it again in 2025. I love it. The other thing, can we lighten up? Part of the 26 behaviors that I list, 26. The 26 behaviors that add to your happiness, add to your contentment, add to joy, add to that vibration of contentment. Can we put one more thing on our list of things to do? One more thing. And I mean it. And I would like it appreciated if you moved it all the way up to the top of the list. Top of the list. Can we lighten up? Can we start laughing? Can we start making fun of all of this shit that the world says is so serious? Can we practice, scratch that? Can we practice lightening up? Because there is the thinking that this energy, the thinking that something is serious and something is important is just another program. This is important. This is serious. It's just another program. How about practicing living in a state of neutrality? Neutrality, it's all here. Doesn't mean that you're not going to have any feelings, doesn't mean that your energy, but neutrality and without judgment. Can I just be neutral? So there's 3 things if you want to shift your energy instantly. Laugh, sing, or dance. Laugh, sing, or dance shifts the energy quickly, instantly. And let's put on the top of the list laughing. And when I say laughing, I'm talking about laughing so hard you pee in your pants. That's right. I mean, I make it, it's just a part of me. My son is so annoyed. Mom, everything isn't funny. Well, I practice believing that it is. Not to say that the practice always works, because there's sometimes the Rebecca, that's not funny. And that's when I know that Rebecca, that ego is taken over. And I sit back. Okay, one more, and then I'm going to wrap it up. How the hell can I talk by myself an hour and 11 minutes? Actually, I'm not talking by myself. I have all my wonderful audience here. Millions and millions of people. And that's another thing about this whole contentment, letting go of that program with numbers, that one or millions is better than just one. And I've shared this story. I've been doing this program for a little 15 years. And I remember in the beginning, a Reality Spirituality radio. And I remember in the beginning, I was going back and forth with the universe and fussing and pouting. There's nobody listening. Where's my listener? Sometimes there's one person listening, a lot of times 0 people listening. And the universe just hit me with, we're listening. Isn't that enough? So let go of these numbers. Means nothing. That's with age, with weight, with bank accounts, with likes, with followers. Doesn't matter. Practice not letting it matter. Okay. Let me go to this other question. Hold on. Well, you know what? I haven't heard this word in a long time. What is your definition of happiness? And this person says copacetic. That's a word from the 40s, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to have to look that up. I remember my father used to say copacetic. I think copacetic means just, that's cool. That's chill. Copacetic is all. I think it's just an old-fashioned way of saying it's all good. Okay, let me just go back to this other question, and then I'm going to wrap it up. Unless anybody has questions. If you have questions, put them in the chat. Specific questions, because I do not do hypothetical questions. Specific questions. How can I? How do I? Okay, list 5 or more things that you can't seem to stop doing. Be honest. Oh, look at this. Playing Little Garden on my Kindle. Overeating. Number 3, wanting approval in the early stages of my kind of relationships. That's funny. Number 4, not wanting to disappoint others. Oh my goodness. What a program. Number 5, feeling guilty if I think I let someone down. Ah, smells like a people pleaser to me. That's another program though. But recognizing that this people pleasing and recognizing these programs, being aware of these programs is the work. Awareness is the work. Playing little, well, when I see this person, because they're in my class, The Truth About Happiness, when I see this person playing Little Garden on my Kindle, what I'm going to tell them is, I play games on my phone all the time. And of course, I hear the, well, you're addicted to playing games. And so what? It's very calming, it's enjoyable. I like it. So what? This feeling guilty about what the world says you shouldn't do or should do, watching TV, playing games. Can we get off of that? Be okay. Give yourself an A plus for whatever you want to do. I mean, unless you're, trying to run over the neighbor's dog. However, I digress. But this whole guilt, feeling bad about self, it's time. It's time to practice letting it go. See, wants the ego wants the human to feel as bad and as long as possible. The mind will come up with so many things that are wrong with what you're doing. And practice telling the ego, you know what? I hear what you're saying, ego, but your thoughts, your stories, your behaviors doesn't matter. And besides is nothing to do is you're a bundle of discontentment. That's all the ego is a big ball of discontentment. Overeating. Okay, here we go. Overeating. Listen. This feeling bad about self. So the practice is this. Again, hands up, outside, hands up. How do I practice letting go of the guilt and the shame that I have when I label it overeating? There's a time I wish I felt bad about eating foods that are not quote unquote healthy. I- I- okay, this self criticism is such a deep program, and the practice to transcend feeling bad, the practice to transcend feeling bad about self starts with one thing: acceptance. Acceptance of what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, doesn't matter why. Yeah, what? You had Taco Bell. Taco Bell isn't as good as it used to be. You had McDonald's French fries? Oh, you had a Taco Bell. Oh, I wish Taco Bell was as good as it used to be, but it's just not. You had cookies. Can I practice accepting what if I have cookies, what is this guilt and the shame about and feeling bad? Can I enjoy some French fries dipped in ranch dressing from time to time? Yes, I can. And even if I did it every damn day, I would feel fine about it. Seriously, because I'm not going to allow my ego to make me feel bad. Okay, wanting approval in the early stages of a relationship. So, wanting approval, how about when you approve of yourself, you won't need approval from anyone else? When you practice approving, this is who I am, this is what I am, this is where I am in my life, you don't need anything from anyone else. And in fact, you are either operating as a star or a planet. As a star or a planet, and a star is self contained heat, light, energy. A planet needs the star, the sun. A planet, Earth, needs the sun. Earth needs the moon. It needs. And so the practice is to be an entity that needs nothing especially from another human. I get it needing God and the source, universe, whatever term you want to use, but needing something from a person is just a matter of time before you crash into the wall. Did I say that out loud? So this needing from others, it is an empty well that never gets filled up. Never gets filled up when you're needing. And so self-contain. That's how powerful you are. That's how powerful I am. Do I need my son to call me? Do I need someone to check in on me? Do I need, I mean, I'm talking about, physical, or maybe if, after surgery or something, but needing, emotionally needing from someone else, just wait for that to blow up in your face, because it always will. Not wanting to disappoint others. See, what is this crap? Not wanting to disappoint others. No, there again, I said it earlier in the show, and that there is one solution, and it works 100% of the time. 100% of the time. You want your zero heartbreak, zero disappointments ever again. You will never have a heartbreak. You will never be disappointed again, ever. Eliminate the program behavior of having expectations. Eliminate all expectations. What? You heard me. All expectations. Expectations of what somebody's going to call, what they're going to do. Even if they say, well, let's have lunch today at 12 o'clock. You don't expect them to be there until you see them there. But that's a practice. Eliminate all expectations, not only of others and the world, but expectations of self, because that's just another ego trick ploy to, well, I expect that I should be, and I expect nothing other than what is. Not wanting to disappoint others. Well, other people's feelings and their disappointment is on them. It's not on me. If you're disappointed and your feelings are hurt because of something I did or something I said, guess what? That's your fault. I'm so cruel. Feeling guilty if I think I let someone down. Oh, come on. Well, I am a boot camp instructor, so I can't deliver my message. Don't feel guilty about that, darlings. Everyone will. I can't deliver my message like that. I have to deliver the message like a boot camp instructor, feeling guilty if I let someone down. There's no such thing, letting someone else down. I know that it's a program belief. I let you down. No, and if they tell you, if a person says, well, you disappointed me, I'm going to tell them I don't have that much power. That's on you. In fact, last week, yes, last week, a family member wanted me to go with them to this concert. And at first I said yes, and that's another thing. The world says, don't change your mind. If you make a promise, you better stick to it. You're obligated to stick to what you promised. No, I'm okay with changing my mind. And anybody in my circle and anybody that I love, or even a stranger, you can change your mind. My feelings aren't going to get hurt, and I'm not going to be disappointed. You're not inspired. You want to change your mind? Go. That's fine. But okay, so this person wanted me to go to a concert, and at first I said, yeah, okay. But it was on Valentine's Day, and it was in Vegas, in crowds and at a casino. And I thought about it the next day. I was asked on Monday, and Valentine's Day was Friday, and I was asked on Monday, and I said, oh, okay. And it sounded good. I mean, we could go backstage, all of it. On Tuesday, I said, what the hell am I doing? Number one, I don't drive anywhere. If I need to go anywhere in Vegas, I'm taking an Uber, especially if it's downtown or on the strip. And I said, I don't want crowds. Don't tell anybody. I'm not really a fan of people. I mean, I don't like crowds. And I thought about it, and I just wasn't feeling it. I said, oh no. So next day, I changed my mind. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, was that a that was a problem. Changed your mind? Well, the person was bothered because they had expectations, disappointed. It was my fault. Well, you can still go. Just because I don't want to go or I change my mind, go. No, the world teaches, excuse me, blame someone else for how you're feeling. And I got the cold, the cold shoulder, that's another program behavior. But listen, your cold shoulder has nothing to do with how I'm going to feel. And again, it's still not personal. Your cold shoulder is not about me. Oh boy, I just went on and on and on. And I appreciate everyone listening. And I also appreciate all the comments. Let me look at the comments. You're wonderful. You made my day. Have a happy day. See you soon. Now, let me say this. You can't insult me and you can't compliment me. I get the compliments. Thank you so much. But the biggest compliment, when I say the biggest, one of the things that if you do give me a compliment is, wow, Rebecca, I never thought about it like that. That's the highest compliment, or the ooh, the warm and fuzzies that I could ever receive. Rebecca, I never thought about it like that. But saying that, you're wonderful, you're a good person, you're funny, you look 45, you don't look 69. I mean, thank you. Don't say any compliments, but I'm just letting you know that the practice is to get to a point, because if you can be insulted, no, if you could be complimented, you can be insulted. If you can be insulted, you can be complimented. So the words, I get it, and I love you. Sending an embrace, a virtual hug, but yeah, compliments. And why? That's just the practice. If someone can insult you, someone can compliment you, they can insult you. That's genius. I got to write that down. Okay. Again, reality spirituality is heard. Oh, hold on. Where am I? Is heard every Sunday. Hold on, audience. Oh, where is that? Here we go. One of these days, I'm going to have an assistant. I'm going to have a real studio. I'm going to have a producer, a director, or not. Doesn't matter. That's the end of today's show. Thank you for listening. Reality Spirituality Radio is heard every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And visit my website at RebeccaNorrington.com. Follow me on Twitter at RL Norrington. LinkedIn, my Instagram handle is Reality Spirituality. Oh, on YouTube, like and subscribe. My YouTube channel, look at that. It's growing. And my first book, Reality Spirituality, The Truth About Happiness, can be purchased on Amazon. But the latest book that was published in 2014. The latest book, Program for Unhappiness, Exposing the Untold Truth. I list 56 program behaviors that subtract from your happiness and your contentment and your joy and your peace. And I also list 26 behaviors that you can practice that will add to your happiness and your personal vibration of contentment. Again, happiness, contentment, inner peace are all practiced skills. I'm just sharing with you what to practice. And every Saturday morning live, my son and I are live on with the show Mother and Son Making Sense Out of Nonsense, plus more. Every Saturday at 9:15 on YouTube, Pacific Standard Time. And every Sunday, you get me alone, Reality Spirituality. So until next week, my dear audience, I want you to remember who the hell you are. You are a physical extension of the universe. Your conscious energy, which is always evolving, always changing, and always growing. Love is patient and love is kind. Be patient and be kind to yourself by accepting yourself in every moment. Be your own best friend. Remember, you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. It is about the journey. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality Radio with yours truly, global happiness specialist, Rebecca L. Norrington. And remember, happiness is a practice skill. And the more you practice, the more peace you're going to find, and your experience in every moment reflects on what you practice. Now, stay tuned for the theme song. Hold on a second. Let me cue it up. Oh, I've logged my password. What is my password? Surrender, trust, 2019 explanation. Come on, don't give me a hard time. I'm trying to end the show. Let me do this one more time. Delete. Oh, surrender. ERTRUST. Don't tell me I don't have my theme song. Why isn't it queuing up here? 3 times. There it is. Yay. And here we go. Let's see. There we go. Later.
You got a question for RL? You got a question for RL? Spirituality. It's time to get some answers, baby. Spirituality. Oh, now we get real. Spirituality. It's time to get down. Spirituality. Yeah, you gonna feel good now. Real good.
And that wasn't the full song. Here we go. This is it.
It's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one, man.
Woohoo!
You got a question for RL? It's time to get some answers, baby.
Now we getting real.
It's time to get down. Yeah, you gonna feel
Good now. Real good.